God bless football, Mike Golic.
God bless football, Stu, and God bless the American Century Classic. Yes.
God bless Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
Mike, I have been telling you to come out here. We're doing this live from Lake Tahoe. It's kind of cool, but I've been telling Mike about this for a couple of years. You were scheduled to come out last year. Right. You couldn't make it, but now you were here, and it's everything I told you.
Listen, I watch this on TV every year. I mean, who doesn't? It's just so much fun to watch. And you get here, though, and just the beauty around it. In all honesty, you know what I want to do? I want to go around the lake and fish. I love fishing. Obviously, I want to golf, but I want to go fish as well. But the one thing the biggest thing I found out here is because when you see it on TV, you see a lot of the good shots. They'll show some bad shots. Sure. I'm like, man, I don't want to hit anybody. All I heard last night at the players' meeting was, people get hit every year. They're the ones standing out there too close to us. I'm like, okay, that's on them, not on me.
The guy you're playing with tomorrow, one of the guys you're playing with tomorrow, Ray Romano, actually did hit someone on our show.
Yeah.
Chris Cody.
Right.
Who he's related to. Yes.
So he didn't have to give him anything signed or anything, right?
No. He may have, but I don't. He didn't have to. I think he just did it out of the kindness of his heart. Yeah. Listen, I plan as your caddy, by the way. I am your caddy tomorrow for your rounds. And then I head off to the Dead shows for the weekend. But I do plan on handing you the flat stick on hole 1, okay, on the first tee box. Just keep it straight, Mike. Keep it down the middle, okay?
So then I plan on clubbing you with said flat stick on hole 1. Listen, do you know that it's all over the odds everywhere of your over-under on how long you're going to last with me?
What is it?
4.5 holes.
Really?
4.5 is the number.
And people are pounding the under?
Heavy on the under.
Really?
Heavy on the under, yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm telling you. Let's pound the over, and I'll give you 5 holes.
There you go.
I'll guarantee you 5 holes.
Hit the over, and then you're out.
We control the outcome of the bet, Mike. I'll still lose somehow.
I'm here for the first time. I've never golfed this course, so I got myself a local caddy to know the course, and I still end up with you on the first day, on the first tee box at the first tee time.
Right.
I mean, and it's all your fault.
It is. Well, I made the call and said, can I caddy for gold?
I caddy, and can I do it early because I got to get to the Dead
I probably
show.
Should have checked with you first. I mean,
you don't. That's really not in your wheelhouse of checking with other people.
Listen, if you need a distance, here's what I suggest: ask one of the other 2 caddies with us. Okay?
Believe me, I will be turning to you for no information on golf.
But you're excited because Mike Vrabel's playing with you.
Yes,
and I think you're friends with Vrabel. But Ray Romano was someone you desperately wanted to play with.
So this is one of those things, Stu, where people are always like, after years of doing the show at ESPN, oh man, what is it like meeting these athletes and stuff? It's not a big deal, and I don't mean that because they're not a big deal. It's like I know them. I played with a lot of them or against a lot of them or known them even if they were other sport guys. I probably had 90% of these people on my show once over the last 25 years. Sure. It's the entertainers, whether it's musicians, like Jake Owen or I met
my quarterback. We'll get to that.
Oh, we will.
Yeah. And Jake Owen will join us on this episode of God Bless Football.
Miles Teller, Colin Yost, meeting these guys and just having a great conversation with them. That's been a really cool part. But golfing with Ray Romano, as I said, every night my wife and I go to bed, we turn on reruns of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Right.
And we're huge fans of the show, love Ray Romano. So the fact that I get to golf with him, my wife is like, do not fanboy him. Do not embarrass our family name.
Right.
By just bringing up episodes. Hey, remember that episode? Be a real tool.
If you don't do it by being a fanboy of Romano's, you just do it by playing golf.
That's exactly right.
The Golic
yeah. Well, that's.
But props to Nick Casanova out here with NBC because he actually heard God Bless Football where you were saying you would like to play with Ray, and he made it happen for you.
And I appreciate that. I really do. It's that's going to be very cool. My wife and I are going to get a picture with him. And another guy that I met at the meeting, ended up sitting next to him, introduced himself, Jack Wagner. I'm like, Jack, I know who you are, okay? Yeah, right. And I did sound like that fanboy because one of the first things I said, Jack, 1986 summer, your concert in Chicago. He had to be going, oh my God, what a tool. But he was playing, the Michael Stanley Band was playing, and those guys are from Cleveland, so I know them. My wife and I got engaged before that concert.
Wow.
So that's why I remember the concert. We got engaged in the car before we went into the concert in one of the most unromantic proposals of all time.
What was it? What was the...
She knew I had the ring. Right. She knew I was going to ask her in the car before we went in.
Right.
So I just did it. It was horrific.
What do you mean she knew?
She just knew because I can't keep my mouth shut. I think I said I have the ring.
Right.
I'm an idiot. Now, listen, we've been married 36 years, so it's worked out okay.
Yes.
But, oh, my God, it was just a horrible engagement.
So people don't realize that Jack Wagner at one point, and it sounds like you're now kindred spirits.
We are.
Jack finally found someone who's old enough
exactly, yes,
to remember what he did and who he is.
I think he was happy about that, yeah.
Yeah, but you and I both, okay? Yep. Because people don't understand this about Jack Wagner. At one point, not only was he a great singer, he was the biggest soap star.
Oh, my gosh.
He was Frisco Jones
at
General Hospital. Yes.
Absolutely. Right. So that was very cool.
Right.
And they're just cool to talk to.
Right.
And then if you hear, I used to watch you, Mike and stuff, it's like, wow, it blows my mind.
We were amazed. I think the entire staff here, right? We were amazed because people legitimately geek out to you. Like Miles Teller spent 40 minutes just working you out. I was talking to Miles Teller because he had a Dead & Company shirt.
Right.
So I locked in. I went to talk to him. We were having, a decent conversation talking about Dead & Company. Right. And then he saw you. And it was like I did not exist anymore. And then he locked in on you for 40 minutes.
I don't understand it.
And you didn't get his number.
No, I did not. I was just happy to be talking to him.
What do you mean you don't understand it, Mike? You co-hosted the biggest sports radio show in the history of sports radio.
I just don't think of it that way as all these people that used to. I mean, I get the average fan out there says, "Oh yeah, when I was a kid, up through college, I listened to the show," and that's cool. But when you get, those heavy hitting actors and entertainers, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get Miles Teller on.
Yeah. That's cool.
We're gonna.
He looks good, by the way.
For you, not me.
Dude looks great.
He does look great.
Yes.
What were you expecting? You look great, by the way.
Well, as I said, I'm worth more to my wife alive than dead, so she keeps me healthy.
All right, you want to mock me? By the way, I am caddying for Golic tomorrow. It's going to be fun. We're going to try to have fun.
Is it?
I would pound the over. I'm telling you, I got 5 holes in me. Okay, I'm telling you, people, pound the over.
I'm going to put some weights in the bag, so it's a little heavier for you.
I tested out. I lifted up your bag earlier. You want to take a few clubs out.
That I'm not going to need, huh? Yeah, you're not going to
never use that 3-iron. Yeah. Come on. No one uses that.
3-iron. Never have a 3-iron in my bag.
You go hybrid, right?
Oh, my 3-iron in my bag would just be for when I'm golfing in Arizona to take in the desert to ward off snakes. Right. The only reason I use a 3-iron.
You are now aware of the amazing mistake that I have made here this week, where I had a 20-minute conversation with a guy that I thought was Aaron Rodgers, thought was my quarterback, but it was not. It was Jake Owen. So have at it. Go ahead. I deserve it.
I don't even know what to say. So when I sat down at the players' meeting, Jack Wagner was on my right, and on my left was Jake Owen and Marty Fish.
Right.
And they proceeded to tell me that story, to which I'm thinking, you're a sports person, you're a Jets fan, you know who Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers has been on your friggin' show.
I've hugged Aaron Rodgers.
And you actually thought Jake Owen was Aaron Rodgers. And kudos to him for playing along with it. Because he had to be thinking you're the biggest tool in the world, which you are.
Yeah, thank you.
It was stunning to me.
Yeah.
They don't even have the same haircut now, by the way.
Well, listen, in my defense, Jake Owen says that happens to him all the time. And in my defense, when we did the interview with Jake Owen, that's going to air on this week's episode of God Bless Football, the second he got up from this inflatable couch, there was a kid waiting there, okay, with an Aaron Rodgers jersey wanting Aaron's autograph.
There is no in your defense. A kid doing that is fine. Someone who's been in the sports world for decades, there is no shot that that's acceptable or, in my defense, worthy.
He looks like him, though.
Oh, stop. You know who Jake Owen is.
Yeah, so Jake Owen, he really sunk into it.
He did. Kudos to him for that.
He decided a minute or two in, hey, I'm
going to play. I'm going to roll. Because there's some big time people who wouldn't have. They might have been offended. Kudos to him. What a good dude.
But now that I've had time, now that I know what happened, right? So I've had time to think back at the actual conversation that he's had. The fact that I stared at Jake Owen and looked at him and said, "Hey, you're my quarterback," and he looked back at me and said, "I am your quarterback," and then I hugged him.
So at what point? What I want to know, at what point did he realize you weren't just joking around and you were serious, and then he decided to play along with it?
I think Marty kind of tipped him off, just roll with it, because Marty's really good friends with me. And,
yeah.
And he saw the whole thing go down, and I think he kind of looked over at Marty, and Marty was like, "Just go with it," and then he just decided to sing.
He did.
Into it.
Yeah, like I said, good for him.
He would not let me off the hook.
As well, you shouldn't be let off the hook. That is one of the most egregious mistakes I've ever seen.
Right.
But it's from you, so it's not shocking.
Right. Well, it worked out well.
That's exactly right.
As Mike Ryan said yesterday, I always win.
So if someone would explain that story and then say, "Oh my God, that is just horrific. Who did it?" and they said Stugotz, they're like, "Oh, okay, I get it. I understand. I understand how that could happen."
And it works for our show, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, there you go.
Certainly,
there you
our audience is eating it up.
Might get a few views on that, huh?
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Mike? Because I'm kind of conflicted here on the Jets and Hard Knocks. I don't like all this attention surrounding my team.
So here's the thing.
I really don't.
Anybody who talks about a distraction, forget that. These guys are used to having a camera or a microphone in their face all the time.
Right.
So it's not going to distract them and make them not ready for the season. It's just not.
Right.
In all honesty, I think Hard Knocks, I haven't watched it as much the last couple of years. It's kind of fallen off for me. Now, the Dan Campbell thing was
great.
That kind of re-energized it a bit. So,
right.
And this obviously with Aaron Rodgers. And you'll find out quickly through the first couple episodes who the personality guys are, because they always kind of rise to the top. You wonder if it'll be a Quinnen Williams or a Sauce Gardner or something, guys like that. You hope it is the stars
Sauce
of the
seems
team.
like a good candidate.
Sauce certainly does, man.
Yep.
Born for an NIL deal.
But they're going there specifically for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's the only reason they're there.
And I understand it. Right. I get it. So, yeah, if you're a Jet fan, don't be like, oh, no, this is going to distract us. No, it's not. No, it's not.
But, Mike, we're conditioned to think the worst.
I know.
No one pays attention to us forever, and now the entire football world is paying attention to our team.
What shoe dropping do you Jet fans worry about the most?
I don't know. Rodgers tripping over an HBO camera and breaking his ankle, and he's out for the season, something like that. Things that happen to the Jets and only the Jets.
I don't know if there's another fan group where the sky is falling or the glass is cracked more than Jet fans. It's unbelievable.
I mean, if an HBO cameraman is responsible for an Aaron Rodgers injury, then you'll agree with me.
Yeah, I will.
What a horrible idea.
I know. God, it's going to be something, though.
Mike, do you think, that team, it's interesting because I was just reading an article where someone said on ESPN where the Dolphins are the most have a chance to be the best team in the NFL.
Great roster.
But I also think there's 5 other teams that have a chance, Chiefs, some other teams, that have a chance of being the best team in the NFL. Where do you see the Jets kind of falling into this? Because the AFC is loaded.
NFC, to me, you have Philadelphia and San Francisco, and then you start dropping.
Right.
AFC, you can start naming teams. A few of them right there in the AFC East, obviously.
3 of them.
How's Baltimore going to be now with Lamar Jackson situation all squared away? And they got some wide receivers.
Right.
Plus there's Cincinnati there as well. Do the Chargers, are they ready to take the next step up as well? Obviously the Chiefs as well.
Jacksonville.
So Jacksonville, right. So the Jets, here's, obviously a big deal is being made by Aaron Rodgers, as it should. But the thing that's going to help the Jets get where they're going to go is their defense.
Yeah.
When you have a defense as good as that, you're in every game. And when you're in every game, obviously you have a shot. And now you have a quarterback who you can rely on to pass you either back into games or keep you ahead in games. And obviously, Breece Hall, is he going to be healthy? This guy was going to be the offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
The way he started.
They fell apart after he got hurt.
Covered him at Iowa State. Loved watching him play. Loved seeing what he could do. He is that breed of running back that runs the ball, catches it out of the backfield, who's going to eventually in 2 or 3 years be underpaid because that's the running back position. See Saquon Barkley. Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of hope there. So what it comes down to, again, is all the stuff we can't predict because it happens every year is injury. How does a team handle injured early, injured late? Are you healthy going into the postseason? Those are all questions that you just can't answer.
But you figure 7-10 last year with Zach Wilson. You're right. Because the defense was great. The defense was great. Kept them in every game last year.
Yeah.
So you figure 7-10 last year with Zach Wilson. Insert greatest quarterback of all time.
You could flip that to at least 10-7 or better. Yeah.
Really? I can feel confident in that?
I think so, again, because you have Aaron plus that defense.
Right.
If you didn't have the defense, if you put Aaron, on a team with a bad defense, it's not going to really make a lot of difference.
Right.
Because then you have to outscore a team 35-32.
Right.
Well, Jets, you don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. You have to put up 30-some points.
All right, well, speaking of Aaron, we're going to speak to my quarterback, Jake Owen, coming up next on God Bless Football. All right, our next guest, I've had sleepless nights. I mean, I was up all night. I've been thinking about this all night. I've been running through the entire conversation I had with Jake Owen, who I thought was Aaron Rodgers yesterday on the driving range. I am mortified, but sometimes, listen, you got to face your demons. And right now, I am facing one of my many demons. Jake Owen is with us.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if you would have ever even had me on your show in general if you hadn't have thought I was Aaron Rodgers.
No, we were going to get to you because we're really good friends with Marty. I consider Marty like one of our best friends, and the fact that Marty let this go for 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm mad at him. Part. Yeah.
I think Marty didn't even realize either what was going on until he did catch on, and then he just played along with it.
Of course.
But Jake, like, to be honest with you, like you're the target this week. You're the guest that we wanted on. Like, if my choice was you or actually Aaron Rodgers, we would choose you. So
thank you.
Thank you for sinking into it the way you did yesterday on the on the driving range.
Yeah. So we were on the driving range yesterday, and Johnny comes over and he's like, you were really fired up to see me, and I had no idea who you were. And so I was, and no offense, but you just kind of caught me off guard. And in these type of situations, when a lot of guys will come, hey man, how have you been? And you get in that like, I'm great, man. How have you been? And so at that moment is when Marty said, how do you guys know each other? And I had no way to tell you because I didn't know you, so I just threw it out there. I was like, man, tell Marty how we know each other. Perfect. And Johnny's like, you've been on our show like 5 times.
At what point in our conversation did you decide, hey, I'm just going to sink into this?
Well, I didn't know yet that you thought I was Aaron Rodgers. I just thought you knew me until you said
I was
word for word.
Yeah.
You started creeping me out a little bit. Because you were like, oh my God, dude, I'm seriously it went from like an open conversation to like you leaning in, whispering to me.
That's how it works.
About things that I had no idea what you were talking about. And you're like, yo, man, we are so fired up about you coming to New York City, bro. And at that moment, I realized, I was like, oh, he thinks I'm Aaron Rodgers. And so at that point, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to come to New York, man.
Yep, leaned right into it.
Yeah, I leaned into it.
How about the part where I asked you about mushrooms?
Yeah, I didn't know if I could say that.
Yeah,
totally. You're like, what about those mushrooms, bro? Like,
I was telling you my last 2 weeks on tour with the dad.
I love mushrooms, so I was like, okay, maybe we do know each other.
So you started having a lot of fun with it. I got like the other angle from Marty on it, where there was a lot of nonverbal communication.
Well, you walked off, and Marty's like, did he think you were Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
I said, I think so.
What's great about that conversation happening with you guys is the moment he walked away from you, I walked up to him and he's like, brother, I got my quarterback. And I'm looking around because I knew Rodgers was on the course earlier, was on the driving range. I'm like, all right, yeah, you must have got him. But I turned to our video producer, Lewis, and I was like, Jake Owen looks a little like Aaron Rodgers. There's no way that's
and we all agreed before, right?
There's no way.
Time out. Jason Worth just said. Jason Worth said that he did.
Jason Worth said
was
anything.
my first year here, and Aaron was obviously here last year too. And Aaron's hair was longer like mine. And there were so many times I was coming down the fairway and people were screaming, Aaron, Aaron. And, I'm not going to acknowledge it that I'm Aaron, but this one kid, man, he was running at me with like a Green Bay jersey. And he's like, Aaron, Aaron, Aaron. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I like pretend? And then this guy's like, that's not Aaron Rodgers. And the kid just looked at me and he was deflated. I was like, I'm Jake Owen though, bro. Sign that. Pretty cool.
I'll sign your Aaron
He's like,
Rodgers
whatever,
jersey.
loser.
Multiple number ones. So like, still is pretty cool
hey,
story
man,
to tell.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah, thanks for thinking I'm a lot more famous than I am.
How about the moment though where I stared at you? I said, "You're my quarterback."
You did. It was
you
a
said
little
back
weird.
to me though. No.
This
is when you sunk it. You're like, I'm your quarterback.
I'm your guy.
And I go, you're your quarterback. You're like, I'm your guy.
I'm your guy.
And then I hugged you.
Yeah, you hugged me. Now you hugged me a couple times more than you should have hugged me. Like I was like, all right, we already hugged.
It's a little unsettling that if he actually knew Aaron Rodgers, he'd treat Aaron Rodgers that way too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I started thinking about that. I was like, man, like Aaron Rodgers is a funky guy to get to know. He's great, funny, and whatever, but he's not like touchy-feely, or whatever. And you were really touchy-feely
but that's the thing.
for thinking that I was Aaron Rodgers. And I was like, maybe you guys have a weird thing or something.
The 2 times that I met Aaron Rodgers, there's been a huge embrace. We have hugged each other. We have had conversation. It's been nice. Like, I'm a Jet fan. He's on our show a lot.
I told him the story this morning.
You're my quarterback.
You
did.
Yeah. I told him.
Did you? And what was his reaction?
Well, he laughed, and then in true Aaron Rodgers fashion, he looked at me. He's like, Jake, though, you really do look good, though, man. He's like, what are you, 50 now?
Oh, man.
Oh, come on.
Man.
No, I'm not. But it was funny.
Jake, I can understand how a little kid comes up to you. when you're little, everyone seems larger than life. I can understand how a little kid thinks that you might be Aaron Rodgers.
Well, it's like I just said. Like when a little kid comes up to you and he's excited, you want to crush a little kid's dreams.
Right.
So
I went
That's
along
what
with
you were doing. Is that what you were doing? Yeah, really?
Stugotz works in sports. He's
crushed
made
my
his
entire
living
weekend.
in sports.
Well, I was like, did you really think? Like 100, no doubt in your mind, you thought I was Aaron
1,000%.
Rodgers.
Yeah, I said
Were you
this-
drunk yesterday?
No, he was totally sober, but coming off a bender at the Gorge. I gotta tell
He's
you.
in between dead shows.
You said that. Yeah. You're like, I was just out at the Gorge, which is why I thought you knew me, because I play music and I played at the Gorge. So I was like, oh, he does know. I don't know.
So he came back to us, and he's like, wow, we had the greatest conversation.
That guy has a job over there?
I'm like, now that he's a Jet, he's
sports.
treating me differently.
Right, that's exactly what you said.
Here's what he said word for word. It was like he was a totally different person, Mike. He's so chummy.
And I said earlier this morning, I'll never have a relationship with Aaron like the relationship I had with the guy who I thought was Aaron Rodgers.
He was like,
you were way too nice to me, man.
Like I told you earlier, I'm in a profession where I don't just have to be nice to people, but I've got a great mom and dad, man, and I was raised to just be kind to people. I think the world needs more kindness, and so when you came up fired up, I was like, I'm just gonna be nice to this guy.
That's a laid back Vero in Jake Owen. But one of the things that stuck with me was that he said Aaron's in great shape, and you are in great shape.
I kept pointing to you. I'm like, look at the blue pants.
You are in great shape, but you're also 150 pounds and 5'9". You are not NFL quarterback shape.
I'm like 6'2".
Yeah.
6'2". I mean, my driver's license says 6'3".
Be a top 5 Jet quarterback of all time anyway.
Right.
You are not anywhere near professional athlete size at that position.
Easy, don't insult him.
It's not insulting.
I mean, I was complimenting.
I'm not insulted at all, but I am going to win this week. So if you guys want to talk about that,
we do want to talk
I did
about
draft
that.
you. How is your golf game?
I did draft you. So you got
my golf game is good enough to win, I think. I just have to put it all together. I've got the greatest caddy in the world, my dad, caddying for me.
That's awesome.
So as long as he keeps my head straight. And
Hey, Mr. Rodgers.
Mr. Rodgers. Won't you be my neighbor?
Sorry, Jake, sorry. But keep going. I want to hear. Talk about the golf game.
It was just I feel like I got a pretty decent chance. I played pretty well last year for my first year. I never saw the course, and I finished I think top 10. And I don't say this arrogantly, but you have to come into it. I didn't just show up here to just have a good time. I really do. I've always been a competitor, and I love that this tournament is full of guys that made a living being competitive. So no matter what, that everybody's going to be grinding, and we're all trying to win. So I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm doing the same.
How do you view being a competitor as like a songwriter and a performer in the same way that these guys are competitors as athletes? Do you think it's that same sort of competitive edge?
Yeah, totally. When you're an open, I told people this before, when I used to open shows before I became a headliner.
Right.
I was opening for everybody from Kenny Chesney to you name it, Keith Urban and everyone. And I never went out there thinking I'm going to try to just get people to enjoy the show. I went out there every night going, I want them to like me better than Kenny Chesney. Yeah. And it wasn't being negative, but I just was always trying to show someone up. And I think that's part of being competitive.
That's cool. That's like the Michael Jordan. There's always going to be somebody here who's the first time seeing Michael Jordan. So he always knew he wanted to put on a show because he was like, somebody in this building has never seen me, and they're going to know I'm the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, first impressions are everything.
Who's the guy in the field that takes it a little too seriously, though? Is it the obvious answer?
We know the obvious
We all know
answer.
who it is.
Too seriously?
We all know who it is.
I mean, I've played with Tony before. He's pretty serious. John Smoltz was pretty serious last year. He was a super nice guy, but you could tell and I don't blame guys for being serious. Is if you win out here, you beat a lot of other really incredible athletes, right? So, but yeah, he's pretty serious. He takes his time. You know what I mean?
Now everyone's aware of the rivalry.
Tony not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you're on Hard Knocks this year, and a lot of improvements throughout the division. How do you think you guys are going to fare? You got the Bills, you got the Dolphins. They've made improvements on their roster.
Yeah, I mean, Dolphins are going to be no problem. Bills, obviously, is going to be a little tough. But I feel like I could take Josh Allen anytime. But who else we got?
You're not worried about
year?
Belichick in that division?
No. I mean, I'm the greatest of all time. You know what I mean?
You heard it here.
There's a reason the people of New York were begging for me to come to their beautiful state. So here I am. There I'll be. Can't wait to see you at the Gorge next year.
with some shrooms.
Don't forget the mushies, buddy.
I'm so sorry.
Well,
but I'm not.
This is awesome.
It provided one of the great moments in our shows.
Well, Stugotz, you provided it because you work in sports. We've had Aaron Rodgers on. Jake has a lovely singing voice. He doesn't sound like Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't really look like Aaron Rodgers.
Well, no, really,
like when you speak.
Really, Jake deserves all the credit because he could have
going with it,
and Marty just for going with it because Marty could have got me off the hook at any point and decided, no, this is a funnier way to go because he knows me and he knows our show and he knows this would be funny. But thank you for not doing that. I appreciate it, Jake.
You guys are funny, and I'm glad you had me on. So
yeah, well, the good people at NBC need to have the pairing. Like day 2 or day 3 of Jake Owen and Aaron Rodgers. They got to make it happen on Peacock.
Yeah, we got to make that happen.
And NBC Sports. We need to see that.
Yeah, are they giving Aaron Rodgers shots in this tournament? He got like 30 at Pebble Beach this year.
Yeah.
So if you see him, just tell him that's the one question Jake had for him.
All right. Okay. Dark horse, Jake Owen, and competitive fire. Things that we like.
I will never forgive myself. But
I'm plus 2,800 odds, guys. Like, go ahead and put your money down.
I'm going back. Now I have to Harvey's right now.
Go to Harvey's right now.
Go back to Harvey's right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Thanks for being a great sport. Appreciate it, Aaron. All right. Good luck this season, man. All right, we are here in Lake Tahoe. We have Baker Mayfield with us. This is very exciting. Mike Ryan joining us for his first segment of God Bless Football because he is such a big fan of Baker Mayfield's Golic.
It's amazing when people
just popped in.
It's amazing when it just pop in when all of a sudden one of their favorite players sits down. Huh, Mike?
I mean, the way that the Browns treated Baker made me stop being a Browns fan, so I'm just like a Baker fan now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
No, seriously. The moment. All right, I'm just going to hijack this.
No, go ahead, Mike.
The moment with the Rams.
There's a reason I asked you to sit down with us, okay? I knew this is a big deal
and
for you.
You won that primetime game, like peak moment of the NFL season for me. I was with, I'm sure you know, Miz is a huge Browns fan,
guy,
and we were just geeking out over that Rams game because he loves Baker. Baker's the best quarterback since the Browns came back that we ever had, and the way that we treated him was just garbage.
So I want to ask this because
was there a question there, Mike?
No, it was a declarative statement. Period.
So we always talk about when. At every position, but quarterback position is the toughest position. Whenever you change teams, there's a new verbiage out there that you have to learn. You learned it. I mean, just kind of take people down on the field where they can't go of just how tough, or it didn't seem too tough, the way you did it, the way you handled it, when you were just there for a few days and all of a sudden you're leading the Rams on a winning drive.
I mean, I used to get really frustrated that I had a new offense coordinator almost every year, but it wound up being very beneficial for the 48 hours.
Sorry about that.
You get to know all the verbiage and stuff, and obviously a lot of it was new. Pretty extensive play calls that McVay had there, and we talked about it. I was studying like I was going to do the SAT or ACT, and I was like, all right, just give me a wristband, I'll be fine. Sean didn't call one damn play off that wristband. And we still laugh about it, but it was it's not easy because you're learning the terms, and not only that, you're trying to check the formation to make sure everybody's lined up right. That's the one thing. As a quarterback, you got to make sure everybody's on the same page, but at the same time, I'm trying to run through to make sure I know what I'm doing. It was one of the crazier moments of my life, that's for sure.
Baker, when you look back at your time with Cleveland, I'm going to talk golf with you, and we'll get to it in a second here because we're out of Tahoe and you're playing for the first time this year, so that's pretty cool. But when you look back at your time at Cleveland, if you could do it again, is there anything you would do differently?
You know what? The thing about it is everybody talks about how I got treated and whatnot, but me and my wife, we loved living in Cleveland. Right. It's a great town. It gets a bad rap, honestly. It's a good sports town. They're loyal as hell. I look back at the season of when I got hurt I'm just too damn stubborn. I love playing the game, and obviously I was going through some injuries starting early in the season in 2021, but everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe that. So for me, there's brighter days to come, but I'm thankful for my time there.
I'm glad you said that about Cleveland because I was born and raised in the east side, and the flats have come back, and it's really turning back into a fun town again. So again, here you are with do you look at it as a you're a very confident player and you believe you'll be playing in this league for a long time, but you take these opportunities now where the Tampa Bay Bucks, that team is yours now to quarterback, as a way to reestablish yourself? Is that the attitude?
Yeah, I mean, I feel healthy. This is opportunity of a lifetime for me. Coming to a team and an organization that's had a lot of success from top down. They run it well, and that's the reason why they've had success. And everybody, obviously, Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time.
I was just saying that, and Brady.
Everybody talks about that, but that only makes our veterans that were a part of the Super Bowl run even more pissed off and hungry, because they're like, well, we were a part of it too. So, it's just a great opportunity for me to go back in, and I think that LA stint brought the confidence back, kind of made me have fun again and realize why I was playing the game and why I was here. And so I'm just looking forward to it.
It's supposed to be fun, isn't it?
It is.
I think sometimes that gets lost, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It is a business, but it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, watching you, the fun was infectious, and you never really made excuses. That was the whole deal throughout that season. But I think it was like week 2. It was against the Bears.
Yeah.
That you sustained the first injury.
Yep.
And I've always theorized that if you just listen to your body then and you didn't try to tough it out, because that was a championship window. There was Super Bowl talk. You'd probably.
But that's
my mind's telling me yes, but my body.
But Mike, that's what we liked about him was that he would gut it out.
Well,
I love Baker.
I applied that to every bit of the quarterback evaluation.
I kept saying, I wish Baker was my quarterback. I remember every week.
That was another thing Miz and I talked about, that Jets Thursday nighter where all the beer kegs unlocked.
There's a difference though. I mean, if you're hindering your play though, looking back on it, I mean, there's good and bad.
Yeah. But if you sat it out, would you still be the Browns quarterback?
Oh, I don't know. That's not for me to decide, and I'm not going to go with these what if questions.
I don't blame you one bit. But the playing with injury, that it is a thing of playing injured or playing hurt. And you know what? I hate always doing the back in the day. We were dumb. Mm-hmm. Listen, it didn't matter. I mean, arm, hand, whatever. You went out and played. And for someone like me, who was an average player, I was fighting to make a team. It made 9 years, so it was a good career. But you're fighting for it, so it's like you can never come off the field. If I come off the field, someone else is taking my place. But if you're so hurt that you can't perform well, but you still think, Baker, in your mind that you can, right?
Absolutely. That's the stubbornness that's gotten me to this point. Can't be an average-sized dude and make it to this point without being stubborn as hell.
Didn't you throw like a 70-yard Hail Mary touchdown with a bad shoulder? You
could
still do certain things out there that had you believe in that you could tough it out.
Yeah, throwing comes down to a lot more than just arm strength. So you gotta get a little torque in it, and once you're short and squatty, you get a lot of torque into it.
Wait about 30 years. I got a new knee coming, new shoulder. You'll be down that road. Give yourself a few decades.
Yeah, exactly.
Golic, you love doing that humble thing where you 9 seasons. You like to tell us stories.
That's a hell of a career.
But I know 9 seasons. Yeah. He tells us stories. Because he played next to Reggie White and Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons. That they told him just don't move, don't get in our way.
Somebody had to.
You were good, Mike. You were a good NFL player.
Somebody had to deal with the double team, so Reggie and Jerome could be single block. That just happened to be.
Yeah. You're a selfless guy.
Well, thank you, Baker. Thank you for noticing. Gosh.
So why'd you decide to come out to Tahoe? This is your first year. I didn't realize you were so into golf, man.
Yeah. Honestly, been picking it up in the last 3 years. I wanted to come out last year, but I had shoulder surgery in January, so that wasn't going to be a good time for me. But just been working on it, and it's the most humbling, frustrating sport in the world. But you hit a couple shots that bring you back.
Isn't that the thing? You have a good hole or a good shot, and you're like, this is why I come back, and then you triple bogey the next hole.
Yeah, just gluttons for punishment.
Yeah. But quarterbacks are supposed to be. This is supposed to be something you do well.
It is, which is why it's so frustrating. I'm not very good at
it. Are you like all the other world-class athletes out here that think you can win it this early?
I don't think I can win it.
Yeah.
I'm not that stupid. I want to compete. I want to compete. I want to go top 30, top 25. But I was watching the highlights of Tony Romo, Marty Fish. There's no chance I'm going to compete with these guys.
Right. Well, no one can compete with Romo. Well, no one takes it more seriously.
But it's too humbling a sport. When you don't do it enough, you just know you're not going to be consistent enough for those guys. The Marty Fishes and Romos of the world and Smoltzes of the world.
Exactly.
Jack Wagner in the day.
Jack Wagner.
Jack Wagner.
Baker, do you know who Jack Wagner is?
I unfortunately do not.
Man.
He's an institution out here.
I keep bringing him up. He and McMahon are the two that have played in every one of these, I believe.
Yeah. I just found that out that Jim's played in every single one of them.
Yeah, and usually barefoot.
Yeah, usually barefoot.
Last year on the scooter. Is he still on a scooter?
He's got the foot. Yeah, he's still in the boot.
Is he really?
Yeah, he doesn't care. He goes, it doesn't affect my golf game because, of what, is ingested and all that.
Joints are loose.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
I'll say no more.
Baker, just go out there and have fun. Don't worry about where you
goal.
place. Don't worry about what. Like, if you went out and played this course with no one around, what do you think you would shoot on it?
Ooh. I think mid-80s.
Really?
Mid upper 80s. I'm going to say that, then I'm going to go out in here, and you guys are going to be like, this guy's full of it.
No, but you got to have that confidence.
Yeah. No, I would love to be able to say that. But I swing from the left side, so there's some holes that are favorable for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wait, so you're a lefty golfer,
yeah.
and you throw righty, though, right?
Lefty and baseball and golf. That's
did you just ask him, and you throw righty, right? Like you were asking him a question if he threw righty?
It's odd. It's odd that he does one sport lefty.
All of a sudden you thought it was Steve Young sitting here?
Well, listen, would you put it past me at this point?
You can't expect him to know
that is true.
What if I told you there was a guy out here from the media who's been doing this for 20 years at a really high level? Okay.
Well, that's
high level is debatable.
At a really good level, okay? At a decent level, at a below average level. But regardless,
at a very secure level.
A guy who's a Jet fan who walked up on the range and had a 20-minute conversation with a person that he thought was Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God.
But it was Jake Owen. What would you say? What would you say about that person, Baker, huh?
Idiot.
Figure it out.
It just blows my mind.
Did Jake not interrupt it at all?
No, Jake went with it.
No, Jake,
Jake did. He was very cool.
He's a good sport. He's a good sport.
Baker go like this. I go, you're my quarterback. He goes, I am your quarterback.
Inside he's going, what a complete tool you are.
He's just letting you go for it too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what you do, though, right?
Yeah, you got to go with it.
All right, it's Tampa. So what do you think this year, man? I'm thinking a future bet on you guys to win the Super Bowl. What do you think?
I'm excited about it. I
guarantee it.
Yeah.
That's just what Baker needs.
Oh my God.
Being in that division last year and seeing the competition. I mean, obviously everybody talks about NFC South that it's not real strong.
Yeah.
The division as a whole is going to be a lot better than people think. I mean, Tampa did win the division with a losing record last year, and we're looking to obviously improve on that. But I think. Just standards that we've set in the offseason, kind of the accountability that everybody's got going on right now. It's a great atmosphere, so I'm excited about it.
Why Tampa? Why'd you pick Tampa?
For me, it was kind of a long-term decision. I knew it wasn't going to be a long-term deal by any means. I know I got to go out and prove it. But looking at it organization-wise as a place that I can come in and compete right away in a division that, like we just talked about, to where I'll have a chance to showcase that. And then obviously coming out for the draft, Todd Bowles and I, we wanted to work together. He was with the Jets at the time. But yeah, familiar faces, and then obviously with Dave Canales' system in Seattle that he's bringing is similar to LA. So it kind of showcases a lot of things that I'm good at, and so I'm looking forward to all those things just combining.
So this is kind of the last hurrah before camp. I always remember a week or two before camp, my wife was ready for me to go because you start to get antsy, and so it's right around the corner. Now, how do you
ready
get
for you
before
to go?
camp? Yeah, well, thanks, Stu.
No, I'm ready for it. We've had obviously I was there from mid-April till mid-June, and so got to enjoy all that, and have had a couple of weeks off just doing workouts and stuff. But then after this tournament, head straight to Tampa and gear up for the season.
All right, if you want to be in good shape and not worry about anything bad happening to you here, I suggest you stay away from Kelsey and Mahomes the entire weekend. Okay?
They're too much fun. They're too
much fun. And if you're struggling out there and you just want someone to follow you and constantly make excuses, he's hurt. I did that for 3 seasons.
This is your biggest advantage, right?
Oh my God!
I'll just be out there you don't understand. One injury compounds another one, and the legs start overcompensating.
Baker, I am telling you, you do not. You might think you have one. You do not have a bigger fan than this gentleman to my left.
I love that.
Yeah. You're gonna have to work with him.
You're gonna have to compete with my grandma, but we'll see.
This is what I say to all the guys that come on when I'm on the show with you guys, and you're doing this. I say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for them.
No, it's great. It makes it entertaining. It's better than a boring interview.
You're sorry he has a fan.
Yeah. I'm sorry about him. Me and Mike are gonna go over here after. Seriously, I'm sorry about him.
Sorry, we like you. Okay. You apologize in advance.
That's it.
All right, Baker. We appreciate this.
I appreciate it, guys.
It's been a thrill for all three of us.
Thanks, guys.
No one more so than Mike Ryan.
Yeah.
So, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Picture. I haven't done that all tournament.
Good luck this weekend and good luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so as we sit here with Ryan Fitzpatrick, before Stu even jumps in, Ryan, I want to apologize. I'm sorry for him. I have to do this all the time. Whenever I do God Bless Football with them, and they get a player or a coach, I'm always wary of what he's going to do, and I know he is not. He's been bad for you.
He's not high on the list.
That's why I'm sitting so far away.
I just want you to know that this shows how much I like you.
I appreciate that very much. It's a Harvard Notre Dame thing going on.
Yeah, I understand it. I'm not certain I can ask Ryan a single question. I'm terrified. You guys are sitting right next to each other. I'm on the other side of the couch. Like, Mike, I'm going to let you go here, and I'll interject. And if Ryan doesn't want to answer my question, that's totally fine. But I think you two are like kindred spirits, I've noticed. And I'm wondering where this relationship developed. Like,
Ryan and I have known each other. Now that he's jumped into he's come on the show when he was a player, but now, in the media, we see each other in the airports, coming home from our respective gigs. But also we do have a, yesterday or at the party after the players meeting, there was this whole Harvard thing with Colin Yost and Ryan and who was it, Whitworth and others. And I had said my connection to Harvard is my daughter Sydney married a Harvard grad in Ben Broniker who played with the Bears and is now in med school. So I feel a kindred spirit to the Harvard-ness of it all.
You really butted your way into that conversation.
I did. I just wanted to meet Colin Yost so bad.
We were having great conversations. Yeah. First time I've actually ever met him in person, even though we're at school together. Yeah. And you just kind of leapt right in.
Was it bad that I stood right in front of you and blocked
I just thought you should have given me one of those lobster rolls if you were going to do that, right?
Mike doesn't share food.
No, it was unbelievable.
It was kind of rude what I did, but I was
it was
so
great.
Happy.
It was great. Ben's a great guy, great Harvard guy, but we had a lot of fun last night.
Yeah.
The whole American Century deal here is unbelievable.
So it's my first time, so I've just been asking questions, and the thing that I found out is more spectators get hit than I thought, because that was my biggest worry, because I watch this every year, and a lot of times they show the good shots, and you don't see a spectator get hit, but I've heard a few got hit, so I don't feel as bad if I happen to tap one.
And you will be so nervous tomorrow standing on the first tee over your ball, because people stand as if you're Tiger Woods, and it's like, well, you're only 10 yards in front of me to the right. Like, I will hit you.
Why isn't there an announcement made over the loudspeaker? People, they're not pros. Move the hell away.
Yeah, but it is good. Guys like you and me don't get on TV much because there aren't a whole lot of good shots.
So would we be more apt to be like on Saturday or Sunday when they're doing like highlights of some of the others who aren't in contention, probably like us, would we be more likely to get on air with a great shot or a horrific shot?
Ooh, I think it would be a combination. It would be you on 17, blading your shot into the sand, it ramping out, and somehow you making birdie.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how you get there, right?
Doesn't matter how you get there. Two on the card.
I had 11 and a half sacks in my career. 2 of them were the quarterback, as he took the snap, tripped or got stepped on by the guard, fell down, and I touched him and got a sack.
Mike.
And I'm like, hey, it doesn't say how it happened, right? It just shows sack. That's all that matters.
In the record book, it's
That's exactly right. Don't matter to me.
Mike is starting on 17 today, as a matter of fact.
Oh, you are?
Like, that's a horrific hole.
No,
no, Ryan, he's never played here, so he doesn't realize what 17 is, and he has to start there today in the afternoon.
So they used to do caddy races.
Right.
They used to do the caddy races. I don't think they do them anymore, but I would give you advice if you were going to do that. If somebody calls you to do it tomorrow or whenever, it switches very early from grass to sand, and I've seen multiple caddies go down face first, clubs everywhere, because they're not ready to step into that sand, and you just kind of trip and slip. So that's my one bit of advice to you.
Well, that's very nice of you, but you're kind of hoping that it happens to me. Right
I'm hoping that it happens, and you're my caddy.
Tell him that.
So, Stu, let me ask you a question.
I'll do it anyway, right?
Let me ask you this question. If you had to, if there was an actual caddy race, and you had to literally dead sprint, how far do you think you would make it? Do you think you would stop and throw up first or fall down first?
I'd probably, I'd throw up first. Like, making it to fall down is a long ways.
How many heaters are you going to be smoking during the whole time?
The entire time.
I mean,
what do you mean? I might not be paying attention to you. Okay? I'll be hanging out with Romano, Vrabel, Fly Mahomes, Fitzpatrick. I mean, but it's a party out there today, Ryan, right? Like, I don't think Mike knows what he's getting into today.
These fans are incredible, and especially once you get towards the end here, 17, 18, they're all lined right there.
So what's your best advice? Now, when this starts on Friday, I am the very first tee time. Me, Mike Vrabel, and Ray Romano. 7:45, first tee. What's the advice? Drink?
Well, I think they did that so there wouldn't be any spectators here, so you wouldn't hit it off the first tee.
I told him to pull an all-nighter.
That'll work well.
Well, you don't think about it when you're that.
I would honestly, I would say just go hit some lag putts. Make sure that your putting and your speed is okay, because it is very easy to get excited over like a 10-foot birdie putt. Not that you're going to have one, but a 10-foot birdie putt and 4-putted on these greens. These greens are tough.
So that's the thing. Everybody gets on the driving range, pulls the driver out. You and I were over there hitting it. We got to go to the putting green, right?
We got to go putt, but it's just the pace of the greens because uphill, downhill, these things are fast, and they get faster as the weekend goes, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, great.
Ryan,
thanks for that.
How have you enjoyed the Thursday night Amazon, like just the media work in general? How has the transition been, and have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I think part of it, Amazon was new to the Thursday night thing, so we got to kind of create our own culture. With Carissa Thompson kind of being the veteran, keeping us together, Tony Gonzalez, Andrew Whitworth, and Richard Sherman. We genuinely like each other. We like hanging out. Yeah. So we'll do dinners, the night before the game, and it is so much fun just to be able to keep up with all my buddies around the league and stuff too. And it's the excuse I get to use on Sundays when I plop down on the couch for 12 hours straight.
Got to work, right?
Got to work.
Got to work.
Gotta work.
It's great in the fact, I remember getting into it, it's great because it keeps you close to the game, but then there's the part, I don't know if you've run into it yet, when you have to be critical.
Yeah.
When you have to be critical of a player, and it's X's and O's, it's not a personal life thing, it's what's going on the field, and they start to take that personal, and maybe they get a little mad at you.
The first one I really ran into like that this year, Nathaniel Hackett, very dear friend. We were together in Buffalo back in 2009, and as we all remember, his start in Denver was a little bit rocky, and there were some decisions that he made that he went back on, and we had him in a game, and it was shortly thereafter, and there were some mistakes made in that game. And it's like you don't want to crucify the guy because obviously he's doing his best, but it does put you in that position as an analyst where you've got to give your honest opinion about it, and it's not the easiest thing in the world.
I am terrified as a Jet fan that and Mike and I were discussing this earlier, that the Jets have been the team chosen to be on Hard Knocks. Should I have any concerns? Because, Ryan, my entire life, no one's cared about that team. And now everyone is focused on that team. And bad things happen to my football team. And I was telling Mike, I could see Aaron tripping over like an HBO camera, breaking his ankle that he's out for the year, because that's what happens to the Jets. Should I have concerns or no?
Well, luckily, Aaron has been very durable in his career, right? Yes. But it's going to be interesting. Just watching them last year, it really felt like with the way Saleh had the defense going, some of the weapons they have on offense, they were kind of a quarterback away from being really competitive. They are a really good football team.
Yeah.
And Robert Saleh is a beautiful man. I don't know if you've seen him up close, but
no, he is.
Oh, so he's going to be.
This is how I gauge these things. When I'm sitting there watching football with my wife, and a guy comes across the screen, and she says, "Who is that?"
Yeah,
I know he's a good-looking man.
Got her attention.
It doesn't happen often, but
so that's what he's going to get a lot of camera time on Hard Knocks. There's no doubt about that.
Well, this is a guy in Stu who's a lifelong football fan, been in this business forever, Jet fan. Aaron Rodgers comes to the Jets. He had a 20-minute conversation
I heard
with Jake Owen, thinking he was Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know what to say anymore about that.
Ryan is laughing.
I was happy to hear that. Yeah.
I'm sorry about the question I asked. I'm not going to revisit it. I'm sorry.
No, that's water. That's water under the slide, man.
Oh, there you go.
Under the slide.
That's very, very well done.
That is amazing.
Very well done.
Yeah,
my man.
So, when you golf in this, do you have? We're all kind of competitive, but we also, I think, know our limitations. Where do you see yourself in this thing?
So, positive points. That's the first thing. I don't want to finish in the negatives. And positive points every day. That's kind of where I'm at right now. There's 5 or 6 guys in Annika that could really compete in this thing.
Right.
And then there's another group of about 15 that are really good players. And then there's kind of the rest of us. Right. But anything positive numbers for me, I'll walk away from this thing very happy.
Should I play it like bogey's my friend, right? Because it's 0 points.
Yeah, really you just avoid, if you can avoid doubles, which is hard to do when you get in trouble on this course.
Yes.
If you can avoid doubles, you're in great shape.
How many times I'm just going to have to pick up my ball when I'm not even on the green and I'm at double. I'm at double bogey. Just pick it up.
After the real disheartening one is you hit like 4 sand shots in a row and it doesn't get out, and then you just have to pick it up.
Right.
But I guess he'll be raking up the bunkers.
I'm sure he will.
You might do that intentionally.
He'll throw his cigarette butt in the bunker.
Yes, I will. I wouldn't be paying attention. I'll be hanging out with Romano.
Oh, my gosh. Just stop.
Oh, God. All right, Ryan, enjoy the weekend out here. What a beautiful spot, man.
Yeah,
It's
the
such
best,
a great
man.
event, right? It's the best,
Yeah,
right?
it's the best. American Century does a great job. All the people here.
Yeah,
I mean,
fantastic.
now that you're here and we get to talk and you get to interrupt my conversations with Colin.
Sorry about that.
All good.
That was great. That was a bad move by me, but I don't feel bad about it.
Ryan, we appreciate it, man.
man.
Enjoy the weekend and enjoy the upcoming football season.
Thanks.